Hi everybody, welcome to Daily Deco. It is Thursday today, and today is the first day of lockdown. Now, obviously, we recorded this beforehand. So, any predictions, Shaun, of sort of what's happened?
Trump, even though this has something to do with lockdown, Trump is the president. Boris,
Okay.
The lockdown has somehow done something to Boris Johnson. And he
has shaved his head.
Yes.
In
day
sort
one.
Of, yeah, sort of.
solidarity. He shaved his head and he's got a six-pack.
Yeah, he misunderstood Movember and he went straight into the ab crunches and just shaved his head completely.
That's it. And he's got a tattoo of mum across his forehead. Thug life.
And one of those really, really tacky, like teardrop tattoos.
Well, he has
like
killed,
he's been in prison and he's killed a man.
He's
killed a man.
He's killed England. Political.
A lot of people think so.
Yeah, they do. Anyway,
but yeah, it's is official. We have sort of started lockdown, so of course we can't be sort of moving backwards and forwards. But Shaun and I, we've been sort of filming this way for quite some time, as you can tell. And so yeah, we're socially distancing. We're staying at home.
Yes.
It just means that
I don't have to see your face. I mean, I have to see your face anyway every day, but I don't have to go physically see it.
It just means that sort of going forwards, obviously the like kind of style of sort of video is gonna, I don't know, it might change. It might sort of stay very much like this, to be honest, because we can't go out to a studio. We can't sort of go anywhere together. Yeah, there's going to be less dynamic kind of videos for the time being. It's just going to be like this, but yeah, if you want to see anything in particular, then of course let us know down in the comments below, anywhere on social media. Sort of Shaun and myself, we will see it. So yeah, if there's anything in particular you want to sort of learn about, or sort of us to talk about and discuss, let us know down in the comments below.
Yeah, also as well, obviously we've backlogged, so we've filmed quite a lot pre-lockdown because we knew that it was going to happen, so we filmed as much as we could. So for the next couple of weeks you might see videos of myself and Mark together chatting. That's all filmed pre-lockdown. Yeah, that wasn't now. Worry. So yeah, we got to put that in there, shoehorn that in. I might do a little note in the comments like this is not now. This is not. We filmed this like a week ago. Yeah, like Mark said, there might be a difference in, the dynamic's definitely going to be different. There could be a point where I might have to jump in front of the camera to do some bits. Obviously with Mark scripting and stuff like that, just to kind of ease up workflow. Yeah, we don't, honest to God, no, do we, Mark, until we get there.
Yeah, we're just going to play it by ear, sort of see what we can do the best that we can. But yeah, still create contents for you guys so that you can...
Videos.
Oh, you love the word content, don't you? Yeah, just so that you keep sort of scuba diving in your mind. So yeah, maybe something on sort of what you can do during lockdown, sort of to do with scuba diving.
That'd be awesome. Do you know what would be awesome? That one, the
more content.
Yeah, no. The lockdown actually does finish in December 2nd, which it's not gonna. Always the optimist, Shaun. But then as soon as we leave that, we jump straight into a studio.
Yeah, that might be a bit optimistic.
No, it's totally gonna happen.
Yeah, because we were discussing with the agent about doing like contactless, like moving in. So I don't know, maybe
in theory we could do. We'll just if we go for the one, if the one that we want is available and it gets all sorted before lockdown, they can clear it. Then you literally don't enter that building for what, the next 72 hours or whatever. Then you disinfect it. Then we can move bits in as soon as the lockdown's finished. And we have a week, we have a month now to kind of plan how we want studios and stuff to look, or like the backdrops and stuff. Yeah. So we do have, we can use lockdown for good. And then like we hope
silver linings.
But we just have to make sure that we get the thumbs up, basically. But that's nothing to do with us.
Yeah. We'll see. So moving straight on to the news.
Yes.
First news story is an awful news story. So I never really wanted to talk about sort of scuba diving deaths in Daily Deco. But the news has been sort of fairly unfortunate, and we're trying to use this as a not really a learning experience, but you do kind of have to sort of raise awareness on these kind of things. And this is the tragic loss of one young scuba diver. I believe she was only 18 years old.
She was.
And another one who was diving with her. He was quite badly injured. He was only 22. They were diving in what was it called? Glacier National Park, and it just seems to be an in-water lake, obviously very cold water, and the full details haven't been released sort of as of yet. Obviously, we filmed this a few days ago, but yeah, the lady whose name hasn't been sort of released yet, she was pronounced dead at the scenes, and the man was flown to a Seattle hospital for hyperbaric treatment.
Wow.
So yeah, again, it's very important to just do all of your checks, and if you ever feel sort of anything in the back of your mind saying, I don't sort of feel 100% confident with this, you're not confident in your gear, or sort of where you're diving, then it's just not worth it. It's always best to sort of dive another day. Yeah, as I said, we don't know the sort of exact sort of cause of the sort of the incident, whether it was equipment malfunction or what, but yeah, if you are sort of still able to sort of scuba dive where you are, check your dive gear, check your buddies, make sure you're sort of very confident, and you have everything that you need, and if there's anything that sort of sits in the back of your mind and just says, oh, I'm not quite sure about this, then discuss it with your friends, and yeah, call off the dive if you feel weird about something, because unfortunately it could lead to something like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, be safe, look after your body as well, obviously. If you're not feeling sort of fit and healthy, go see a dive doctor or your general practitioner, your sort of family doctor, or sort of whatever you call it, where you are, and yeah, just get a sort of a quick sort of health check, sort of an MOT. Make sure that you're sort of fit and healthy. Make sure your heart is perfectly fine, and yeah, take it from there.
Yeah. Also, if I can touch base on that as well, not necessarily your personal health, but obviously the way things are going now in the world with COVID-19, a lot of response units don't have the time as well. So if you're going to, if you're diving in a rural location, have it in your mindset that if you do have an accident, there's going to be, it potentially isn't going to be they're not going to be able to respond to you as quickly as they normally could, because obviously they're having to deal with a pandemic at the moment. So yeah, have that in mind as well. You know, again, just bringing that over from the hiking and climbing scene. You know, it's such an important thing to, one, let people know where you're going, and then yeah, just make sure. I mean, it's hard to check. You're not going to phone 911 up and go, oh yeah, how's the service today? But you know what I mean? Yeah. Like if you can find out news reports about your area, or if they're really struggling with COVID-19 and they have a high patient rate, and you know, there's stories that, you know, the ambulance crew or whatever, you know, they're running thin, then maybe also cancel that dive if you're having that, like Mark said, if you're having second thoughts on something, and then that also is a factor, then yeah, in all honesty, it's not worth risking your life when you can go a week later when potentially everything's safe and you yourself are a more confident diver. So
the next story is unfortunately on a similar lines, unfortunately. Now again, I first read this news story quite a few days ago when the news first broke. Again, I didn't really want to sort of talk about it and raise more awareness of it, because two people were They had an incident with a shark out in Sharm el Sheikh, and they did result in some very serious injuries. And of course, the last time this happened a few years ago, it had a catastrophic effect on the tourism in the area, and there's a lot of a lot of backwards and forwards, and sort of reasons why, and people kind of speculating, and yeah, it's tragic whenever this happens, but unfortunately, it's always going to damage sort of the whole sort of tourism industry in that area, because as soon as people see, oh, there's been a shark attack in the news, and oh, it's all very scary, and they just literally sort of write it off there. Oh, I don't want to ever sort of visit there, because the next time someone searches for sort of Sharm el Sheikh or Ras Mohammed or whatever, the first thing that comes up on Google is shark attack. It's terrible news for both the people that were directly involved, but now obviously everyone that's indirectly involved, because all the dive centres out there, they've been suffering for the past year, and sort of years before that, they've been trying to bounce back since the sort of previous shark attack, and yeah, this is just going to hurt them even more. So hopefully they can sort of hang in there as long as possible, because a lot of them have just been closed for COVID. And you can only sort of hold your breath for so long.
Now the fact that with this attack, obviously the Brother Islands and a lot of the Red Sea has been closed down because of this, you know, and there's no end in sight. They're not too sure when it's going to open back up. I mean, to be fair, it's quite late in the season, so
yeah,
I don't know. It's a tricky one.
Yeah, DiverNet were talking to a shark diving specialist out in Egypt, and he says that now sort of the brothers down into the southern Red Sea, they're sort of temporarily closed until November. Okay. So that was only temporary, but we'll just have to kind of see how this affects sort of diving out in the Red Sea, and sort of what's sort of closed or what's sort of still open. So if you do have a trip sort of planned out there, then obviously contact your dive centre, and sort of see what the plan is. But hopefully it won't sort of affect anybody too badly, sort of going forwards. And
well, I believe the attack, the boy was snorkeling with his mother, wasn't he?
Yeah, so they were snorkeling as a group. Apparently, they were. I think I read somewhere there were divers in the water, but they were snorkeling on the surface. And I think the other victim was one of the guides who went to sort of help. But obviously, a lot of splashing and sort of a lot of excitement. That's what sort of excites sharks and sort of gets them into their sort of feeding behaviour. So yeah, it's terrible. But no, we do need to sort of move on from it, bless it. Yeah,
definitely. But yeah, no, so it's a shame that that's happened. And I know back in when we used to do daily scuba news, obviously if this sort of article came up, we would want to share that. But yeah, like Mark said, we've got, not that we're trying to deter the truth or anything, obviously not, but there's only so much negativity that you can keep pumping into people and keep pumping into this world, and go from there. And then also as well, like when we used to do daily scuba news, and like obviously I know the resistance that Mark's had about adding deaths and stuff into scuba diving, we don't know the full picture really until like an investigation's happened, and that takes a year or two depending on what the incident is. So you never get the full story until, you know, a year or so, you know. It's
and they usually have like the snap decision is just, we'll catch sharks in the area, even if it's not the actual shark. We'll just catch a shark and kill it, and then everyone feels better. Which isn't the right answer.
Definitely not.
But I think a lot of the response has just been sort of, oh, okay, so obviously don't feed fish and don't do this, and sort of be as like responsible as possible.
Definitely.
Yes. And the final news story, just to lighten things up and pivot as hard as we can from that awful news, is that Fourth Element has just released their Winter 2020 clothing collection. I know that was a hard pivot.
Very hard.
Desperately trying to sort of make you guys sort of feel a little bit better after all that darkness. So Fourth Element, for those of you who don't know, they're a sort of a scuba diving brand. They make a lot of exposure protection, but they also make their kind of lifestyle range of sort of clothing, and they have their sort of spring summer. They've just released their autumn winter range. Again, it always has a kind of nautical theme. Again, they're very much lots of sharks. I've seen a few manta rays. There's a cool one which is a kind of a radar, and that's to sort of raise awareness on the Southern Ocean, the fact that it's very unexplored. If you zoom in, I thought the radar was going to have sort of lots of interesting like nautical terms and stuff, but it literally just says explored and unexplored. And yeah, they have a lot about the sort of different. There's usually a story behind a lot of the designs. So as you go into them, you can read a little something about sort of what kind of expedition they're kind of talking about. So yeah, check them out on their website. The sort of standard sort of autumnal and wintry sort of coloured tones. So of course they've got t-shirts and hoodies, and there's a polo shirt. So yeah, if you need something new, or if you're thinking, or if all of your sort of friends and family are asking about Christmas ideas as much as they are me, then yeah, sort of find something that you like and just send them a subtle link. Just go, this is quite nice. I'm a size large. Yeah. And I like the colour blue.
Again, the good thing about Fourth Element and their general clothing as well is they're very obviously an eco-friendly brand. So the packaging will either be recycled plastic, or it will come in paper. The prints and the textures that they have, they're either made from recycling material or they're eco-based. So, you know, the process of making that t-shirt or polo hasn't hurt the environment or has a very low impact, which I think is really, really cool. But yeah, like they're kind of a bit fat-facey, their designs.
Yeah, they're relatively safe this season. Usually when they bring out a new range, there's kind of like one or two kind of standout t-shirts that will sell really, really well. So they have their Cave Arrow one that looked like the Superman logo. That was just amazingly popular. And they had a few others. None particularly stand out for me this year or this season. But yeah, they're that kind of relaxed, kind of chill, environmentally friendly kind of designs for this. So yeah, if you like the look of something, yeah, go for it. Go support the diving industry and advertise the fact that you're a scuba diver.
Yes, please. Now lockdown's happened. Go online. I'll link the video. We've already explained what we should do. Or what you should do. It should have popped up there. Anyway, right. So yeah, that's all the news articles at the moment, or the ones that we really wanted to talk about or just inquire about. So we've got 3 questions for you, Mark. So the first one is from Brad Scamp. He goes, "What ratio of water to shampoo do you use for your defog hack?"
Use like 1 drop of shampoo to, I don't know. I don't actually know where my defog is. I don't know, it's probably about 100 mil. So very little. You only need like a drop, if anything, because it just affects the surface tension. You know, when you have like sort of like dirty water in the kitchen sink, and then as soon as you put a drop, just a single drop of like dishwasher detergent, and the whole surface just goes wah. Yeah, it's very, very effective. So yeah, you only need like a drop in like a spray bottle or something. Cool. So yeah, not much at all.
Yeah, don't put it on raw.
Yeah. Yeah, the first time, if you haven't been watching, the first time I read this hack, I didn't know. I just read that baby shampoo is a great defog gel. So I thought, hey, so I put a couple of like neat drops of defog, baby shampoo on the inside of my lenses, like swill it around, and then sort of cleaned it off. And you put it on, you're like, oh wow, really? People like this? And then yeah, you're like, oh no, you have to dilute it a lot. Yeah.
It's mad.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Okay, so the next question is from Ham Shackleton. This isn't really a specific scuba diving one, but just a general one about us filming and stuff. If/when you get a proper studio, will Shaun appear the right way around on his screen? This has been freaking...
what, because you mirror?
Basically, because it's on Facebook, basically, because the way that we film, so before we started Deco Stop, or Daily Deco, sorry, we had various different versions of how we were going to film the show. Obviously, when Mark is so far away, at first off, we tried DSLRs. It was fantastic. We looked crisp. We were brilliant. But it took about 3 days for him to send over the footage. So it was one of those things where it wasn't really worth our while. So sorry, yeah, it is tricky because we tried a few different sort of camera techniques. Shaun and myself, we have quite a few different sort of cameras for filming and recording sound as well. And because we're sort of isolating and social distancing, of course, I literally have to take these video and audio files and like try and send them to Shaun by the fastest sort of broadband, and it just takes hours. Eventually we sort of settled on sort of these cameras that we're using, but I think your one, it sort of mirror screens it. So it mirror screens it, and then obviously it gets that, because it's that blur, so it just blurs the background a little bit, which I quite like.
Okay.
Yeah, it does that all in tune. Samsung, man. Samsung. Was it the Galaxy S20 Pro Plus or something? I don't know. But yeah.
Other brands and phones are available.
Pixel 4 or Samsung. That's all you need. Although the new iPhone's meant to be really good, even though you don't get a charger with it. Charging cable.
Yeah. And it's horrendous for the environment.
Yes.
That's about all I read about it. It's just...
Fantastic. Even though the screen on the new iPhone is made by Samsung, which I think is quite funny.
That's quite ironic.
Yeah, because they own the, was it OLED? That's Samsung's technology, so they have to pay Samsung to put a screen on the iPhone, which I always found weird.
That's all right. When we get a studio, obviously we'll go back to the sort of big proper cameras.
Yes. Proper scripts. That's it. That sort of thing. How we were beforehand, or a similar version, or something similar to how we were beforehand. It will happen, but we just have to just wait it out, basically, don't we?
Yeah. Yep. So that's it. So the next question isn't really a question; it's more of a comment, should we say? Conveniently. That's fine.
So it's from Aussie Pirate. He goes, so glad to see you guys are back, which is awesome. So good to be able to listen to you talk about scuba, and obviously watch us about scuba, because obviously, if you didn't know, we have a podcast. This is a podcast, so please go subscribe over there wherever you get your podcasts. So he's been scuba diving for a year now, and this week he's doing his advanced course, which is awesome.
Okay, that's cool.
So can honestly say diving has made my mental health better. I'm always happy, or is happier now, and is always looking forward to the weekend of diving, obviously when the weather permits. And he's also puts on a side note saying he obviously gets bummed out if the weekend has rather bad weather, so he can't go diving, and obviously he can't wait for the borders to reopen, so he can go and hit the Great Barrier Reef and other dive sites. But the reason why I put this comment in is, one, it's glad and we're happy, and it warms my cockles, as I said, that everyone seems to be very happy that we're back. We want to wish you all the well, and wish you all the best luck for your advanced water diving course. And it's really nice to hear that that your scuba diving has helped with your mental health, Ozzy. It's such an important thing right now, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah, I mean it's a now sort of proven thing. As we mentioned a few days ago, there was actually a study that is actually sort of improving. I mean, it was primarily focused on sort of depth therapy and sort of PTSD in soldiers and whatnot. But yeah, scuba diving does sort of improve your mental health, and obviously it's sort of gets you out and about. It gets you sort of meeting new people. The advanced course is always amazing. It's a bit more chilled out than your sort of first course because you have that foundation. Now you're just kind of learning sort of a bit more, and you're going into the different avenues that you can learn sort of in the future, and really kind of specializing for scuba diving. So it's sort of nice and chilled. But yeah, it is just nice that people are still going scuba diving, because usually when sort of serious things kind of hit people, it's kind of like one of the first things that kind of disposable income side of thing, and you're like, oh well, I don't really need to sort of do this, so I'll just like stay at home. But yeah, it does have a positive effect on people. People enjoy it, and yeah, it's obviously sort of affected him in a positive way. So yeah, hopefully he'll sort of stick with it and yeah, continue.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's cool. So yeah, as I say, I just wanted to put that in there. It's nice to hear positivity, and I'm glad that scuba diving is helping people out. If you have any stories about how scuba diving's helped you out in the past, let us know in the comments, and then maybe rather than, you know, it being a question, we can just let people know and share your stories. Try to inspire others that potentially might have, I don't know, mental health issues, or you know, that might be in the same or a similar spot to what you were in, and maybe if we can share their story, it might help you, you know, evolve or whatever, or get diving more. But, you know, it's really good to hear. And that's it. So
yeah, that's it. As we mentioned yesterday, sort of Daily Deco, we're looking. Basically, if you guys wanted to change in any way, because sort of after we sort of started the YouTube channel back up, we just thought, hey, we'll start a daily show, which starts off with like industry news, and then just some news in general, and then us sort of answering your questions. But if you wanted to be something different, then of course let us know. What we've done is a couple of days ago, we actually put up a poll on the YouTube sort of community page. So if you head over to our YouTube page, there's a little tab that says community, or if you already subscribe to the channel, it will sort of show up in your news feed, and where we come up with a couple of options on sort of how we can do it, and then of course if you want something different, then just put it down in the comments. So vote for that if you want it to sort of change in any way. If you want us to do like all the sort of Q&A just on one day, just have one day of Q&A, and just have sort of industry news Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever, yeah, let us know. Any general sort of scuba diving comments, questions, queries, corrections, anything that you can think of, let us know down in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and of course, safe diving.
Thanks for watching, guys.